Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Monday night, 8 p.m. and happy UK Open week. We are finally here. The FA Cup of Darts returns this week, but it's been a mental week in the world of tungsten. As always, never a dull moment. And myself, Dan Simpson and Jarlath Eaton are going to talk you through the next few hours of all the talking points that's happened, what could happen. We've got a special guest today as well. It's going to be mental. But gentlemen, how are we?
I mean,
Keith, I'm excited.
How can you not be absolutely superb on UK Open Week? Yeah, I'm so good. And today, sometimes life's tough, and you have lots of things going on, and life is busy, and work is busy. But then I have just got this light at the end of the tunnel, which is that just in 3 more sleeps,
yes,
I will be getting in the car and starting the pilgrimage.
It is a pilgrimage.
Open. I can't wait. Yeah, it's hard not to be good on a week like this. I get to catch up with that when we don't all see each other. It's very rare that we're all in the same room. Like very, very rare. Often, sometimes 2 or 3 of us end up in the same room, but it's very rare we get so many of the team all in one place. So that's really exciting. The UK Open itself is the best weekend of darts in the year.
I can't express how excited I am. Happy Minehead week to all who celebrate. And I know, Philip, you're not the biggest fan. I get it. I do, because I've done it from your.
Yeah, so about we've both been doing the working for the UK. Like we've shared that. It's tough.
Pain in the arse.
It's not convenient.
It is the word.
Yes.
However, I'll tell you what, it's the hardest darts venue I've ever been in, if you like, behind the scenes, from a sort of press point of view, where just going for a piss is an utter
it's the worst. The
nightmare.
Absolute worst.
And then you look and the weather and it's raining and it's just a complete and utter disaster. Doesn't look like it's going to be
last year, when Barzi and I went down there in March, I've never seen so much sunshine in one place in my life. It was 3 days of stunning weather, and Barzi can testify to that because he had a nice walk in on the front. But I'm getting ready. Cheers.
Well, you can get a practice in because you need it. You need a practice.
Yes,
the last thing I need is a practice at the minute, and I've got there's 4 big days ahead for me. So we are. Dan Pellegrino is in the building.
You Tory, you're such a Tory. And also,
I'm keeping it clean tonight.
But also as well, before we go into the chat room, I was just saying, yes, I do. I do need a practice, 100%. But also, to everybody else that's going, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun because it is that. And I know we'll talk about it more in depth. I know what rounds 1 to 3 has already come out, and we'll discuss that later on the show. But Friday afternoon at the UK Open is utterly mental and utterly brilliant. It is just it's a massive qualifier for the main event. Let's have it right. It's a massive qualification process to get into the 4th round draw, which everybody's looking forward to. But we'll talk about it a bit later because obviously there's a big change this year at Butlins Minehead. A huge change, actually. The fact that the multi-board room is not going to be in centre stage, which I think actually might be a good thing. I'll save that.
Well, when I was there and Phil was there as well in November, whilst we didn't have a really, close look, there was a lot of work being done to renovate the room that's being used this year. So I'm quite hopeful to see what we get on the inside. Don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting something that looks like the inside of the Dubai Mall, but I am hopeful that we get somewhere there is at least, hygienic. Let's start there. Let's start with hygienic.
I'll save my comments on Studio 36 until we actually preview it, which I think we'll be spending most of the day talking about it.
I tell you what, Phil. Before we get on to anything proper, you've done well. You probably haven't. There has been some work done in that that studio of yours, hasn't it? This is looking very clean. I'm very pleased with how that's progressing. That's a very nice little backdrop you've been developing there. It's been in the working for a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's one more spot on that wall for a shirt, which I sent the message out today and blagged, and I've been told I can have one. So there will be another shirt on the wall there.
Does it rhyme with Pook Pittler?
No.
Oh,
But,
okay.
To be fair, he probably would if I asked him.
It's green, isn't it?
They are.
Oh, he's got a lot of
very
green in
rare,
there.
shall we say?
Yeah, yes.
They're what?
It's very
they're very
rare.
rare. I know exactly what he's on about.
Okay.
Because the said individual doesn't sell his shirts. You can't buy replicas.
You can't, and he never gives out match worn ones ever.
If
he is now, because I've got one coming.
It's a weird shirt, isn't it?
No.
I know.
All aboard.
I put it in the back.
All aboard.
I put it in the back.
I know what it is. My reference actually was the niche point of the only other button-up, because everyone knows I love a traditional button-up. A man that still wears a button-up shirt, is, for me, deserves a bit of respect. And they are thin on the ground now. People that actually wear a proper shirt for darts.
To be fair, Chris, I've already got the black and gold Michael one. That's in front of me.
That's on the other side. That's the other backdrop. So that's when occasionally when you'll look at videos and think, these guys are from multiple studios. It's just that we different walls.
Yeah.
I'm going to the office actually on Monday next week.
Yes, Charles coming up. We're going to do some filming, which will be quite cool.
Anyway, chat room busy.
Just before we jump into the chat room, I'm going to say, I know you guys like the pilgrimage to Minehead. However, it's not even close to the pilgrimage to Blackpool. Not even close.
I disagree. And I'll tell you the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why. Because into Blackpool, you've got roads. On Minehead, you're driving down cattle sheds. All right? Let's have it right. You don't drive down roads in Minehead. There is no such thing as roads. In the words of Doc from Back to the Future, roads where we're going, we don't need roads. You're barely driving on bloody farmland.
It's such a different. I think the two aren't comparable. So, so I'll come as I did last couple of years. 9 days in Blackpool for the match play, and I think, well, this is glorious. And I stay in a very nice hotel, and it has a sauna and a jacuzzi, and there's lots of nice, and I'm living it up, and I'm having a great time, and enjoying the match play, beautiful venue, and then I go to Minehead. In a place where I have to take my own towels and shit roll, so it's a real contrast. It's a real contrast, and I don't think you can really compare the two. What I would say is they are the two must-haves in my annual darting calendar. The two must-haves is the pilgrimage to Minehead and the trip to the match play. They're neither of them can go. They have to be there.
Yeah. Just going to jump into the chat room, say a few hellos. Our guest has arrived, so we will be bringing him in shortly. But first of all, Wayne is in. How we doing? K-Days, how we doing? Del is in. Chris, how we doing? James, good evening. Rob, how do? Sean is in. Warren, Marcus, Daniel, Bobby, Mark, how we doing, my friend? It is rammed already. Kieran, Shelty, how we doing? Malachi, Aaron is in. Lens is in. Oh, it's Ram. Rob, how we doing, my friend? Ad is in. Oh, I'll tell you what, Dave from the other side of the pond is in. How are you, my friend? The werewolf. Niall Cullerton is in. How are we doing, buddy? Good to see you in Minehead. Paul is in.
Yeah.
How are we doing? It is absolutely crammed in here already.
There's a reason for that. Because it's the greatest tournament of the year. Here we go. Let's do it.
But we are going to do this, and we'll see you in a second. And in the blink of an eye, we are joined by our guest for this evening. Kyle, how are we doing, my friend?
You all right, mate? Not too bad.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. How excited are you now the week is here?
I'm absolutely buzzing. Can't wait for the opportunity I've obviously worked hard for. I've gained my experience from JDC and stuff. I'm excited for it.
Not only that, the draw come out today. Not only are you at the UK Open, You're on main stage, my friend. What was that like when you saw that?
Yeah, I was buzzing at the time. Obviously, 16-year-old main stage debut against Sam Spivey's obviously a good player. Can't wait for it. The walk-on atmosphere is going to be amazing.
I think the big thing for me, Carlos, is that obviously we've seen previous 16-year-olds obviously up on that stage, and that has been. I don't know if there's some guy called Luke Littler. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but obviously as well we had Thomas Banks as well that one year when he was there. He was a young player and obviously playing against Gerwyn Price eventually on the 4th round stage. So obviously if you get through those games, does the draw, the fact that you could be in that 4th round draw and playing one of the big boys in terms of the top 32? Does that make it even more special, the fact that you could also follow in their footsteps a little bit?
Oh, yeah, of course. I recently played Tom Banks at the PDC Dev Tour last weekend, talking to a last leg decider and beat him from 3-1 down, so that was nice. But yeah, get through the first couple of games, that was quite nice. Get some money.
Just remind him of that. Just remind him of that every time you see him. I mean, because your development, obviously, because you're based up in, because you qualified from the event up in Siston, didn't you? I think, if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So obviously, you went through the PDC and the community qualifiers rather than the Riley's ones. What was the major, for people who don't know? There are obviously, we've got a lot of great fans in the chat room who know a lot. But what is the difference between those two qualifications, just for people who don't know?
I genuinely myself, I don't even know, but I just
fair enough. Okay.
Made in one like that. That's fine.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, but obviously, what was it like for you? Because obviously, this is the first time you could potentially qualify for the UK Open. What was it like going into those community qualifiers? Did you? And I know that sounds stupid, but did you realistically think at the time when you entered, you thought, yeah, I'm going to bash everybody up and I'm going to get my spot in Minehead?
Absolutely not. I didn't even know who was going to be in the qualifiers where I went. I didn't know anyone. I did, but I didn't know any big names that were going. So I was just happy to actually get through the first few rounds. Then something clicked in my head thinking, I know I can actually win this now with the last players that are in it. So it was just nice to get to the final and win it.
Yeah, it's good.
I like that. So going forward, like in your development, what does this year look like for you? Is it Dev Tour? Is it ADC stuff? Is it some WDF stuff? Or is it a mixture of kind of everything for you?
No, it's a mixture of everything. I've got obviously JDC Advanced Tour still left this year with some Mitchell Lowry, everyone like that.
Never heard of him.
Obviously, I've been in the PDC Development Tour in Hildesheim, Wigan, and Milton Keynes as well for the development of my career. Now just stick to JDC until the World Championships later this year.
I like that. That's
like
again clear. Like you seemed real level-headed. That you know what you want to do. You know the pathway to get there as well. And look, everyone says the Littler boom, as you will. Is it nice to be part of that, or is there also added pressure for you guys coming through now? They're always going to be compared to Luke.
No, I don't see any pressure because he's just obviously took off so quickly in the past couple of years. I just think I don't want to hide in his footsteps or anything. I want to get my name out there. That'd be nice, obviously. But I just want to play my game and see where that ends up.
So when you've mentioned there about like the plan, I'm sort of going to try and bring it right back to this week now. So you talk about what the future could be, the plan for this year and what might happen next. But like, what is the plan for this week? Like, sort of, I'm dead interested to know, just like where obviously you now know what stage you're playing on and sort of loosely when. So what does that look like for you in terms of like travel and practice, and how much? What's your sort of plan leading up to that match? How much do you think you can get in, or do you need, or are you just going to try and take it as it comes?
I've still got a couple more leagues until Thursday night where we travel down to Minehead. Got like a couple of leagues, got academies as well. So we'll take a board on the Thursday night, put up in the room / hotel, get some nice practice hours in there, then just wake up, have a nice breakfast, go around, a little walk around Minehead, and just go to the venue.
Are you staying in the hotel, the only hotel that's there? Really, we all know the one, the Premier Inn, that everybody stays at.
Hotel. I don't know why I said a hotel. I was saying a nice little house just outside Minehead.
Lovely. To be fair, Barzi has a nice house over there. obviously I know you want to try and take it one game at a time. I know Sam's 5 is a very good player. I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but obviously with it being rounds 1 to 3 all in one session, we always look ahead, and obviously the fact that you could be playing Max Hop as well in round 2, who's playing really, really well and has played really well in the past, and then you look at the round 3 list. So you got Alexander Merckx as part of the team in there as well. Obviously, you've got to be thinking at this point. Like, look, I'm not saying that they're not good players, and of course, I don't want to try and put words in your mouth because obviously they are, because they're there at the UK Open. But you've got to think, I can go out and do this. Absolutely. If I can win on the main stage, I could certainly go and win it on the multi-board room. Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I know if I win my first match, it'll be on stage 2 against Max Hop.
Well, even better going into Reds.
Yeah. It'll be a good match either way. Whoever I get, 3rd round, Alex Merckx. I don't know who I've got. I haven't seen the draw properly myself, but just
I think
take on one.
and Van Velzen, if memory serves me correctly, as well. So just looking at it now, but like you say, the fact that you start on the main stage, you then go into. Have you ever done Minehead before as a punter? Out of interest.
I was there a couple months ago with some friends I called Sean, Alfie Corbin. They were down there. They took me for a nice little holiday. Obviously, I didn't know at the time I was going to be going there for this. We just went for a nice little breakaway.
And what, have you ever done a darts weekend? Well, of course you can't have been because you've got to be 18, haven't you? So that's the shame.
You can't
go. But
this is what you can. Now. You can if you're good enough at darts. You just can't.
Yeah, clearly.
I'll get kicked out after my match anyway.
Yeah, as soon as he's played, he's out and he's straight back.
but obviously, what I come back to is obviously the fact that this is obviously going to be your first time going down there as a player, obviously, and as a punter going to. Have you heard stories about what it's like down there or anything like that? Okay, interesting. So this is going to be completely new for you.
Yeah, brand new atmosphere, new everything for me. So it'll be quite nice.
Well, all I'll say is that I hope you get a chance to play at Reds because that's Dan and I's favourite venue of the whole calendar. It's just so intimate and fabulous.
It's a lovely place, and yeah, we're all there. So with a bit of luck, we'll be able to get into that main room for when you come out, which would be cool. It'll be good to see that.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
We'll fire everybody up. We'll do some cheerleading in that main.
Go on,
so,
PB.
Again, the UK Open. Have you thought what this could do for you as well? Just like winning a couple of games, the confidence it could give you, the doors it could potentially open for the rest of the year. Are you daring to dream what it could do yet?
Oh, I've had dreams. Of course. Obviously, winning that trophy, I'll be obviously mind blown. But I know it's not going to happen. I mean, it could, but it's very slim. Obviously, 1,000 to 1 I am in the bookies, but oh well. I'll just see how it goes. Just take the experience for everything that's going to come this year.
Leicester were 5,000 to 1, mate, to do it, and they did it. So why not you? You know,
I'm a Leicester fan as well.
Well, of course, obviously up in sister because that's sort of mid Leicestershire, if memory serves me correctly. I think. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Happy days.
What sort of numbers are you posting in leagues and things like that?
I'd say at the minute I'm at least a good 80s plus.
Nice.
On my A game, I'm at least a 95 plus easily.
Decent.
So it's not too bad.
No, that's all right. That's good. And look, looking forward, obviously, is Q School the goal for next year and so on, and getting on tour as soon as possible? Or are you one of these that I'm not fussed, it will happen when it happens?
I want to go Q School next year just to see how it goes. If I get a card, I get a card. If I don't, I don't. Still on the challenge tour for the rest of the year. But I'll just see how it goes. That's all I'm bothered about at the minute.
You play with some good players in that area that you play in as well. What's it been like picking their brain and things like that? Because obviously we know like Matt Ward's very active around there and so on with the boys and so on. So have you picked their brains on what it could be like and so on?
Yeah, I've been speaking to some of the lads that have been there before, like Aidan Kirk, you might know.
Yeah.
Henry Coates and Chris Wickend and people like those.
Yeah.
I'll play in leagues with all those as well, so I'll just pick off things that they say and just say like where to stay and everything, how it goes.
I think what was obviously because the first time I've ever had a chance to properly speak to you and meet you, as it were. And what strike for me is just the fact that you seem quite grounded in the sense that obviously you know that yes, I've got to the UK Open and yes, I'm going to be playing on that stage, but this isn't like this is the first step, if you like. And that, I get, is that the way that you're thinking it, the first step to becoming a professional darts player, really?
Yeah, I take it a step at a time. If I do well in this, I know my sky's the limit. If I get at least round 4, I'll be buzzing with that, because that's just put me like a little footstool at the bottom to work on.
Absolutely.
What's your walk-on song?
It's Learn to Fly by Foo Fighters.
Oh,
yes,
banger
name.
Like it?
Yeah, top tier. That's one on the list of songs that I always, like, name that. Why isn't somebody using, and I mean, like, at the real top end of the sport, like, why isn't somebody using? Why isn't that a Premier League walk on? It's that level of song. So yeah, that's
like Aqua, Dr. Jones, and those kind of songs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen your playlist, mate. It'll get you into trouble.
Bars is going to be giving it the absolute beans in centre stage on Friday night to that. Jesus Christ!
I'll hear him from the stage.
What's that?
I'll hear him from the stage.
Yeah, well, absolutely. You'll be banging it from there, absolutely, pal. But no, I mean, obviously, just for the walk on alone, I hope you get to round 4. Because obviously, I don't know if they're going to be bringing you on. I don't know what the rule is now, because obviously with the new change of the broadcasting, I don't know if they bring you on 2x2 in rounds 1 to 3 anymore. So fingers crossed you get a chance to at least use the walk on.
Bit of Rihanna Ponder replay going on there, Jar.
Why?
1x1 and 2x2.
Yeah. He's doing his, like, we've gone from Aqua to Rihanna to, like, he's doing his full repertoire, isn't he? That's what he's like.
The main mixing finger, DJ's in the house.
I don't know what's going to be next, but it'll probably be 911 or East 17, something.
Yeah, 100%. But no, I think. Go on, Basil.
You carry on.
No, I was just going to ask. The one question I've got is that really one more question I think is the fact that, like, how many people are you bringing down? How many people are coming down to watch you? Because obviously, again, one thing you'll find in the multi-board room is there's always about 1,700 people cheering on each player, in particular the multi-board room. How many people are making the trip down to see you?
There's about 6 of us, including me, coming down to watch. But we're still trying to get some tickets, because tickets were sold out by the time I qualified. So it's really hard to get everyone in to watch me. So it's going to be hard.
We know.
Tricky, because it's like we know how hard it is to get it. Like, we'll be there. We'll be at the front of the queue on Thursday trying to rebook for next year, because it's so hard to get a ticket. And I honestly wondered how that worked when somebody qualified. Is it literally just a case of, like, scrambling and getting on the phone to Butlins and saying, I'm coming, and what have you got, and what can be done?
Yeah, we've had to buy a couple online, from just some people we don't know. We got 2 tickets for free, because I'm still under 18. I get 2 people coming with me for free. So we're still scrambling to get another one.
Well, at least you've got some support, and I'm sure there'll be a fair few people that will be bouncing around that multi-board room if you get a chance to go in there, or indeed in Reds. I mean, and the main stage as well. Obviously, mate, you'll even if it doesn't go particularly the way you want it to, you'll have the time of your life down there just to experience. I think the biggest thing for me is that I don't know what the rule is in terms of how long you can stay should you get eliminated. But if you do get a chance to do one night, in particular in centre stage on a Friday night, just to see the state of the carnage on a Friday night after darts, I'd highly recommend that.
Might have to have a look at it. Might have to have a look.
Just go and hide in Reds or something like that. What type of player are you? Are you a Going Price, or are you a Danny Noppert, or I was trying to be, which end of the spectrum are you as a player? Do you like to give it a bit?
Depends on what I'm doing in the game. If I take out a big finish, I'll give it some. Obviously, if they're on the finish and I've missed doubles and they miss doubles, I'm going to give it some beans if it's their throw as well. So that'll be quite.
Big Johnny says, "Don't lie."
Find out.
Oh, I like it. So look, in terms of you building your brand as well, do you look at what's going on in the world of darts in terms of down the line that you see players that have built a brand? Is that something that you want to do so you are recognisable in 6-7 years' time when the career is going well and things like that?
Yeah, I want to be recognised.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, I want to be
8, 9.
recognised from the Mulder because that'll be. I want to be recognised by everyone. I don't want to be the next Littler. I want to be just someone just below him. I don't want to be the best. I don't want to be the worst. I just been nice, steady, always been decent, just like a James Wade, basically.
Nothing wrong with that. James has had a glittering career.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In the chat room, who is your favourite player?
I got asked this just over a year ago, and I don't know why I said Van Dyvenbode because it was a bit of
yes.
out of nowhere, and his song came to me head. It just went, oh, it's got to be a minute. But no, I have to say Gerwyn Price.
Good
I
man.
like that.
Because he's just I used to play rugby as well, just like him, so he's similar to me.
Where did you
Technically,
play? Is in what position? Were you forward, back? What did you do?
I was a forward. I'm a big lad. I'm a prop. I was a
Oh,
prop.
good man. Well, I referee. I referee at local, at local level. So trying to police a scrum is an absolutely ridiculous one. So
It's lovely. Love being in scrum.
especially your front row. Jesus Christ.
Again, I know you touched on your prep. You still got some league stuff to do. When do you think the nerves will kick in, or do you not really get nervous at all?
They kicked in as soon as I won that qualifier, and then it's
Really?
like
Nice.
my mind was blowing, still like, thinking I'm going to beat the UK Open. I want to get a decent player, but I don't want to get a bad player. I want them to be steady. I want them to be decent at darts. So then the nerves are starting to kick in more since I know who I've got and what stage I'm playing on.
A bit like in the FA Cup football, when the Premier League teams come in round 3, if you could get to round 4, who would you want? If you could get one of the big boys, if you could handpick it, who would you want?
Take a nice little dig at Johnny Clayton.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
I think there will be a lot of people wanting the Gilding derby, won't they? There'll be a lot of people calling for the Gilding derby, Gilding versus Gilding.
It would be nice. I think we're meeting up just outside Butlins to see what he wants to say stuff because he's going to be watching me apparently. So that'll be
nice.
Class.
Yeah.
Love that. And of course, we've
Gilding.
got one Gilding. I was just going to say, we've already got one Gilding's name on the UK Open trophy. We need one more, I think, don't we?
Yeah, that's cool.
Youngest ever.
I love that. Love that. Kyle, it's been a pleasure to have you on the Live Lounge, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, and we wish you all the very best at Minehead for the UK. And like you say, we will try and get out and watch, mate. Enjoy every single minute of it. Take it all in, and thank you so much for coming on, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
See you Friday.
100%. Take a look. Best of luck. Take it easy.
I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, nice kid.
That was that was good.
He's got for a 16-year-old lad who's arguably going on the biggest stage of his life, and he is because he's going on the main stage at Butlins. That his head is so screwed on, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous.
We are seeing more and more of, we talk, and I don't want to draw the Littler comparison because it's overdone.
It's there.
But what I mean is we're seeing it more and more in the way that these young players are prepared when they all of a sudden have to come and talk to 3 clowns on a Monday night, or whether as somebody sticks a microphone in front of them, or when just generally the way that they approach the game, they're coming in such a good headspace, and the way that they present themselves. I think a lot of that is very good work done by very good people within the academy structures, and obviously that good families around helps when you've got people around you that can guide you and keep you right on what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. But yeah, it's I'll tell you, the biggest problem I've got now is I am having to laser prepare and I tell you what, I'm sorry, Jarlath, the step count's going to be through the roof because there's a couple of games and these are people you can know too many people, can you? And friends of the show, people in the chat room. I'm looking and I'm thinking, right, well, I reckon I can get in. I reckon I can be in the main stage for Kyle's game, and I think if it all works to plan, because we've got 12 o'clock starts and 11 o'clock starts in 2 different rooms, that I can then go from there to get to see Niall Cullerton in the multi-board room, and then
Yes.
I've literally plotted like a route through the Friday where I can get. There's obviously, I mean, and again, it's that Friday afternoon, with the greatest of respect, it's not about seeing the big names of darts. So not certainly not for us. So for us, it's about seeing the people who we actually like and want to win and want to see do well.
This is the thing about it, isn't it? Like the fact is that, like I said, we'll come on to talk about Studio 36 in a minute. But what I mean by that was that obviously multi-board room in red starts at 11 o'clock. So you can get to see a few. I mean, Merv King's on the bloody red on bloody reds on second game on. Merv, big Merv's going in there. The Merverts.
The Merverts will be there.
And then I might bring your shirt. I might bring your shirt. I'll bring Merv King with me. I came to re-sign it after she worked it off.
I don't say this lightly. Genuinely, I don't say this lightly. I think that is the best stage lineup for an afternoon session on a Friday afternoon. I think that's the best main stage lineup I have seen in, I'm going to say 6-7 years. And obviously Barney's on there as well. So, yeah. And obviously Barney's on there. So I'm happy.
7.
Yeah. 8-9. 8-9.
It's tidy, and like I said, the biggest challenge I've got in preparing is me literally counting through and thinking, well, we've got 11 o'clock starting the multi-board, 12 o'clock on the main stage, which means I think I'm probably going to be able to like see this, and then I'll probably get to see that. It's going to be, but it is going to be a group of us with our phones out, like working out where we have to run to next to see.
And the best part is. And the best part of the whole day is when you're going on Dark Connect going like, oh, okay. You see, like, again, I remember a couple of years ago when we went there, who was it that was was it Scott Mitchell that was 5-1 down to Matty Denton? And then Mitchell came back and won 6-5. One of the greatest games ever. And everybody else is looking at the multiboard and you just see, as everybody sees this moment happening, you just see stage 8. You just get seen tighter and tighter like a sardine. It's just the fucking best. I don't care.
It's gonna, like I said, there's a lot of guys that we have, a lot of the folks that have been on as guests on the show and people that pop in that, it's an opportunity for us to get, because geographically we don't see people very often, it's hard to see them play a game of darts in the flesh often. So yeah, there's a few people that I'm just looking forward to. They say on that Friday afternoon, I think I can get where I need to do, back in the multi-board room, then back out, and then back in time for Adam Lipscomb to play, and then back out for something else. And it's going to be a busy one, but we're excited.
Well, on the multi-board room, how do we think they're going to set it up?
I reckon they'll put the boards on the wall. Ockies will be about 7.5 foot back. They'll probably they'll point a lot of the cameras and lights towards the boards, I would have thought.
Really? Why would you do that?
I'll tell you what. I'm not telling them how to run their business, right?
Right.
But but that's where I stand. No, I don't know, to be honest, because it's always a bit interesting when we get something new, because I think over the last few years it's become quite established, hasn't it? It's become quite, and everybody walks in, and to a degree, like one of the risks with changing things like that is confusion, because it's already chaos in there on a Friday afternoon. And if you almost go in as a punter, you sort of know you're like clockwise from the right, and so when we get there, and we do, because you're darting around all over to try and see what you want to see. So you come out of reds and you get into the multi-board room, and you're right, board 6, and you immediately know where to go. But so I'd be interested to see how clear that is, how easy that people can get around. I don't know. I mean, I assume they're going to be set up nice in terms of I will give a robust review of the conveniences, making sure that we've got drinks and bars and we don't have to queue too long for ale, and they've got enough pictures on hand and all. I mean, in terms of the darts, like I'm not sure. I don't know.
I would imagine
perhaps centrally.
I think they'll put the boards across the back wall. They won't go long ways because it's too deep. I think they'll go along the boards along like the side wall. You will.
No, you've missed it completely. What is that room? That room is obviously a room. and what was a room beforehand? As in, like, what happened? What used to happen with the UK Open? We're going back to Bolton, baby. Boards all the way around, so more people can see it.
Possibly.
That's the reason why centre stage is great. Don't get me wrong. And where the boards are, you just walk in and you can just stand at the bar. Happy days, right? But what's great about
almost like a horseshoe,
absolutely like it was in Bolton, and it was like in Milton Keynes, 100%. Excuse me. That's what they should do. They should put board 3, board 4, board 5, board 6, and then maybe, I don't know, when we get to stage 3 and 4, when we only need 4 stages on Saturday afternoon, we just have 2 at the back of the room so more people can come in and watch. That's what I would suggest. Whether that's what they do is another issue entirely.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works.
I'm sorry, just to say, and I get it as well from a punter's perspective. I get why they've moved it. People will go, I don't like change. I don't want it. Remember that one year they used Studio 36 for stage 2 at the Players, and it was nearly a national uproar. And I get it. People go, I don't like change, and rah, 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 rah. But that's great. We'll tell you what. Hold on that. Start that comment there because this is great. His mum, Carl's mum, has just come into the chat room. Good evening, Keeley, and saying, what a proud mum I am, and he's got 3 days of school also to complete before Minehead. That is some way of basically saying to your school that you've got a day of, have to have a day off. Innit?
No, yes, he does have. No, but I think that's incredibly positive. I'm really pleased with that because it means he is still going every day. He's going every day he can, and that's the important thing to do. He's got 3 days to do, and then he can travel, and that's the priority. Is making sure that he goes to school.
We're just going back to quickly
drinking out of Mrs. S's top teacher mug.
But just going back quickly to Studio 36. I get why they've moved it, because what's different now is that obviously in the old days when we used to go down there used to be jumping jacks on a Friday night where people could go into. That doesn't exist anymore. That's now obviously been taken over by the prize area and all that sort of stuff. So there is nowhere on a Friday night apart from the Inn on the Green. And the best, and with the best one in the world seen on the Green, it doesn't have the same atmosphere. Let's just have it right. So, having centre stage free to use for the whole weekend, not just the Friday, obviously, it's the Thursday as well. I think that's absolutely class. And before people ask as well, no, Kyle Gilding is not related to Andrew Gilding. He's not. But I do think that having centre stage free for the weekend to do more entertainment is obviously a good thing, because it means as well, particularly on a Friday night when we've got to use it, obviously when it hasn't been able to be used before, Butlins can take more cash because everybody will be absolutely hammered, because that's what Butlins weekend's about.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
I get it.
100%. And I'm all for it as well, because as well, again, if you've ever been in that multiple, do you remember last year, 2 years ago, the last couple of years, I have never seen the multi-board room so busy in my life at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning. You are packed in there like sardines. And that's not an issue because we all want to watch some good darts. But obviously, there is a finite amount of a capacity in the multi-board room, and there's more of a capacity in Studio 36.
I was about to say that I think at times they were probably bang on fire regulations and things like that. So again,
yes.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that had something to do with the moving it of it as well, because you think all those people up and down those stairs, they were rammed at times, and so on. So I just think it makes
it's a challenging venue for that, type of thing. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Look, let's dive into the draw itself. We have the opening 3 rounds draws and potentials, who could play who and so on. Just in the first of all, let's do round 1. What jumps off the page for you in round 1? Chat room, get involved as well, and who will like their round 1 draw?
I'll tell you who I will like, and that's Aidan Kirk against Mervyn King. Absolutely here for that. That's a quality game. Already buzzing for it, because obviously we all know
that won't like their draw is Stefan Belmont and Charlie Manby.
Charlie Manby,
they will not like.
That's a naughty. I'll tell you what's another one that's not nice either. Crystal Reyes and Graham Usher is a horrible draw.
Exactly right.
Because they're both brilliant players. Like Crystal Reyes has played some brilliant darts lately, and we know what Graham Usher can do. So yeah, that is a really naughty opening round draw, I think. I suppose, and with the greatest of respect to Kyle, I think if you are playing a qualifier, if you're a tour card holder, a professional on tour who has drawn a qualifier, then you've got to think like, that's as good as it could have been, because you could have been against one of the other professional dart players that are in the draw and the other tour card holders. So yeah, I think that's so that I think we can probably think. I mean, people like Niall Cullerton can probably think that's not a bad draw. Jeffrey Diswan as well, playing Samuel Whitaker qualifier. Tom Sykes playing Sean Ryan qualifier. I think those, there's a few players there that will probably think, well, yes, there is obviously a level of darts there because they are qualifiers. They've had to beat a lot of people to get there. But, these guys are professional tour card holding players and should be able to deal with most of the qualifiers.
Is this the first time we're going to see Matthias Elhurst from Germany as well? Because he obviously hasn't got any money on the Pro Tour. So I'm just wondering.
I thought you were just going to give us a bit of a story about his life then.
No.
You say he hasn't got any money.
I don't know that much.
Some sort of backstory.
I don't know that much, unfortunately. But I'm just trying to think, is that the first time we're going to see him on tour? Because I can't think of a time when he played in the Players' Champs.
Unless he's just keeps getting...
Jesus.
Unless he's just getting pinged out in the first round, perhaps, is he?
Quite possibly. I mean, what I'm saying is that I have not seen him when I've been going through all the bits and pieces. Do you know?
No, I think
he hasn't. Okay, Jamie's just said that. Yeah, he just hasn't won a game. Okay, no problem. I didn't know whether he hadn't came over. So apologies on that one. Maybe I've just missed him completely off the last 6 events. Okay, well that's interesting. Could try and get himself some money. That's good. Oh, okay, yeah. Jimmy says 5-1 up against MVG at Players Championship 1 and he lost. Okay, first. Thank you, James. Thank you, boys.
Also, there's a few players in this round 1 tie round 1 draw that I think we need to see a little bit more of. I think Ryan Branley is one of them. Only a young man from the Northeast, but he's got a massive reputation. And I think he massively under-delivered at Q School. So I think there are question marks around where his game is. I want to see a little bit more from him.
Yeah. And again, I don't think it's
I want to see a little bit more from, because we know the levels that Tom Sykes has. I want to see him on a really good run, because we know what a fabulous player Tom is. But again, I want to see those big numbers again. Yeah,
I don't disagree. I mean, obviously for me, what's quite interesting is like Dan mentioned, Crystal Reyes against Graham Usher. Usher had a chance. I thought had a chance for tour card. Not really going to qualify. Not really, but a chance. Not going to shy away from that. And Crystal Reyes has been probably the most informed player on the Pro Tour so far this year. Yeah, 10 grand already on the bank. So yeah, there you go. Barzy's trying to get all the things on there. So there we go.
I'm just trying to play it on the fly, but it's not working.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, I mean, another player I really want to see. I'm again obviously looking forward to seeing Merv back. I'm not gonna lie on that one. Scott Waits as well. See what he did, because he's done a couple of interesting experiences there. And also, I'm just trying to look at another couple of names. There was one name that did pop out. Bear with me. Oh yeah, Ron the Bomb back at Minehead. Here we can go, boys and girls. Let's do it.
Yeah, another one that two new tour card holders playing each other, and I think they both had a decent start to their tour life, as well as Adam Leake and David Sharp. I think that they both had really good starts to life on tour, but sadly, one of them is going to leave a TV major with no money. That's another subject I'm sure we'll come on to.
I was about to say, that's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace.
but again, for those, that's like an opportunity for one of them to add some cash to it. But then going into round 2, again, some brutal ones. Białecki against Christian Kist. Daryl Pilgrim, who's just started to show the Daryl Pilgrim we've all wanted to see for the last year, against Bo Greaves. That's not a gimme for Bo at all.
No, but that is a game that I will 100% be heading to the main stage for.
Oh,
and I don't like going
completely.
I don't like going to the main stage on a Friday. I don't like going to the main stage on a Saturday. but 100%, I will be at the main stage on Friday afternoon to watch that game, because Daryl Pilgrim against Bo Greaves is, for me, the tie of the afternoon, and it's not particularly close.
Yeah, and the fact that Daryl started to play well again. He started to play well. He started to show the Daryl that we've wanted to see for the last year.
I mean, also as well, that round 2 section that's on the main stage, Sebastian Białecki against Christian Kist, as you mentioned, Jimmy Van Ski against Tom Bissell. That's a stinker of a game for both players, because both of them are playing well. And then you've got the winner of Pascal Reprecht and who is it? Pascal Reprecht and who? Can't remember who it is. Against Cam Crabtree. Anyway, Cam Crabtree's back on the main stage.
Jensen Walker.
Jensen Walker. Excuse me. Right, cool. Yeah, I mean that's not a gimme either for Cam Crabtree, either, whoever comes through that.
No, I agreed. Look, Reprecht posts some big numbers at Q School, but not quite done it yet. Jensen Walker he's winning WDF titles, and I'm not going to hammer him, because to win titles is difficult. But I'm not convinced on the action long term. But right now it is working for him, and he's playing well and winning titles, which is the important thing.
Absolutely. Certainly is.
Some other absolutely brutal games as well. Thomas Lovely against Shane McGurk on stage 2.
Yeah, that's
absolutely brutal. I'm just going through the lists of games here. Really, I mean, we all know that we all know where our dear friend Cam McFarlane will be stage 2 wise. He will be at stage 4, seeing his mate Big Wes. He'll be there.
Cracking little start of that, isn't it?
He'll be loving life. He'll be loving life on that one.
The permutations in round 3 again. Ricky Evans, Brendan Dolan. Oh my!
It never gets easier, this, does it? Once you've got 3 or 4 like slashes, it never gets easier to interpret. I don't think the UK Open 3rd round.
I mean, as a side note, the fact that Peter Wright, 4 years ago, was the champion of the world, and now he's playing afternoon in Minehead.
Yeah,
it's mental. But I tell you what, I really like the look of on stage 2. Kevin Dutz against Ricardo Petretsko. That's a good game, really good game. As is Kim Harbrechts against Barry Keane. And then the winner of Pascal Reprecht, Jason Walker, and Cam Crabtree against Joe Cullen. That's a really solid lineup. And Gabriel Clemens against Sebastian Białecki. Look, I know Clemens hasn't necessarily been on the boil recently, but or Christian Kist. Whoever wins that game, that could be an absolute, could be a really good game.
Like you touched on there, in terms of, look, I know we're only in March, but for Keane Barry and Kim Hybrechts, this is huge, because both of their tour cards are under massive threat. The winner of that, it's a massive step for ranking money and so on. So I think that game is absolutely huge for both of them. I look at Ryan Meikle against William O'Connor. Ryan Meikle's posted some big numbers, and Willie's not had the best start to the year. Was poor at the last block of Pro Tour. So Ryan Meikle will be thinking, I've got a chance here. And then I look at Joe Cullen. He will play either Pascal Reprecht, Jensen Walker, or Cam Crabtree. The Rockstars look decent of late. You can see he's put some work in. Well, we've got an interview dropping with Joe tomorrow as well. Spoiler alert.
Well done.
But again,
but also, sorry, mate, go on, Dan. Obviously, the big thing is as well, again, looking at games that we already know, 100% know. Alan Suter against Richard Veenstra over on stage 6. That's an interesting game. I don't care what anybody tries to say. I think that could be a really good game. And then the winner of Belmont Manby Thorpe Lubitsch against James Hurrell. Obviously, congratulations to him on his new deal at Unicorn as well. And then you look at round 3 on stage 8. Thomas Lovely or Shane McGurk. The winner of that gets Martin Luke, man.
Hey, we're looking forward to seeing Martin down there at the UK Open.
And look, the elephant in the room, Sedler Box against Barney. Sedlacek has started this season unbelievably well. And if you're Raymond van Barneveld coming in round 3, this is not the tie you wanted. You did not want a current tour card holder banging form when you are desperate for form, ranking points, and everything that goes with it.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm keeping quiet because if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, is what I was told.
It's not a policy we normally adopt on this show.
I was going to say,
case in point, watch the last 5 minutes of last week's.
Yeah.
It's not a case in point, especially when he was so nice to you. Going in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Jolliffe. Thanks for being in the Barney Army.
That'll never get old, will it?
No.
No. Just like no, I can't say that actually because he's now been arrested.
It won't by the end of the weekend when you've had a little bit too much of a practice, nod off in the chair and wake up with orange face paint, Barney shirt on, a fully integrated member of the Barney. And ideally, what I want to try and contrive is something, like the sort of the photos from The Hangover, where you end up with a photo reel of just loads of pictures of you asleep in the chair and Barney like that.
Do you know what? That could, I
everyone else dancing to Eye of the Tiger in the room.
But look, so there's some great ties Friday afternoon. Look, we can't go when he's got a nice run to the final. He's got a great route. This is the tournament that someone could win it with the most ridiculous route, like MVG did in 2020.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous route to the final. Or you could get fortunate and you could have a golden route where you don't play anyone. But this is the joy of the FA Cup.
But do you know what? This is what I come back to. Do you remember Robert Thornton's UK Open run? Back in, 2015 or something stupid like that?
Incredible.
You look at it and go, how the did he get through all of that? Absolutely amazing.
Stunning.
It's again, I was going to save this until we previewed it anyway. There's, for people who have never been, and I know that you will never get a place, unfortunately, because this will be sold out by the time that everybody leaves the venue again on Monday morning, unfortunately. And that's a bad thing. I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's the truth, unfortunately. For people who have never been, and look, Butlins is this, Butlins is that, I get it. But as a punter, I genuinely don't think there is a better weekend because you've got all the tour card holders in one room. You've got the Dev Tour, you've got the Challenge Tour, you've got your qualifiers, and there's just so many stories. There are just so many stories that come from this event every single year.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And the fact that there is no protection for the big boys, the fact there is no protection, that we could have Luke Littler versus Luke Humphreys in round 4, and we could get Stephen Bunting against Josh Rock, and we could get, and half the top 32 could be gone by the time, if all the top 32 draw each other, half the top 32 are gone before Saturday starts. That's the beauty of it.
It shows as well that this is tough. Like when you look at the odds, Luke Littler goes off the 5-2 favourite. I understand. But then you've got Luke Humphreys 7-1. Going Price and Jan van Veen 12s. MVG Josh Rock 16s. There is some massive numbers to be had.
Oh, I think I put it in our group earlier. So we spent an entire year last year watching Danny Noppert and James Wade piss through to semi-finals, constantly pissing, and that's in where they had to play the very best players in the world, and they could get a really convenient draw, either one of them, but to be able to pick those two up each way at 40-1 and 50-1 is completely bananas. Like looking at the last 12 months, the amount of semi-finals, and thinking what that draw could be. Picking them up at 40-1 and 50-1 each way is mad.
Yeah, but that's the joy of this tournament. They're priced like that because you just don't know. You can't. There is no route to the final. You can't say he's in a nice half. He misses Littler Humphreys. He could. This is why
but also I was just going to say this is probably the only time, if you are going to back Wonderboy, this is the only time you're going to get him at odds against at any tournament all year. So unless he has a massive nosedive, this is the only time you're going to get odds against for Wonderboy all year. 100%.
Now, one of the negatives of the UK Open, we kind of touched on it a little while ago, and this isn't a new thing, by the way. We're just gonna speak about it again. The fact that you don't get any prize money until round 2. So those first round ties, you don't get any prize money. Now, people have qualified for a TV major. The amateurs have gone out and spent money to qualify, and for them not to get anything, it's like a kick in the fucking bollocks.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I can't get my head around. Like, I can't understand why or what the reason would be. Like, when we're dishing out £1 million for the world champion, and you've got people who are, let's be honest, right? It's the qualifiers who haven't got a manager, haven't booked their accommodation well in advance. Like, see, the thing is, if you know you're going to be in Minehead, right, you can book your accommodation, a year before, and you can take advantage of the prices that gives you. You try booking something in Minehead a week before, 2 weeks before you've got to go, then you're paying a very different price. So then you've got to get, and again, case in point, without, recent example is you get somebody under 16, so somebody 16 years old, so they take a couple of adults with them, so you need a hotel room that fits everybody in, and you think like, and the thing is, like, the more and more we want the sport of darts to professionalize outside of the top 32, like for it to be a professional sport, you can't have this situation where one of your big flagship, like, and the thing is, if you're going to call a tournament the UK Open, right? When I talk to people that aren't darts fans, they understand what that means and what it is. You say to someone, I say to someone at work, I'm on a long weekend. I'm not going to be in at the back end of the week. I'm going to the UK Open. They recognise, well, that sounds like a big deal. That must be a big darts tournament. But we don't pay people if they get that. It's just mad. We don't get it.
Well, Marcus makes a really good point. If they gave all the losers the first round £500, that's £16,000 they're getting rid of. That, for an organisation like the PDC, is peanuts. That's like arguing the price of a seasoning when you pay the fortune for the steak for them, right?
I think it's a little bit more than that. Isn't it 32 tie? Isn't there 64 players in round 1? So that would make it.
I don't know. I think is there 32 ties?
There's 32 ties, so there'd be 64 players, so there'd be 32.
Yeah, so that'd be 16 grand, wouldn't it? That's my maths. Anyway, that's quick maths. Anyway, it don't, doesn't matter, 16 grand or 32 or whatever the fuck it is. Again, it's still pocket change for the PDC, especially when you just had the deal that you've had with Sky that has just increased the prize money to £1 million for a world championship, which I get why they've done it, because they want to say our world champion gets £1 million, and that's great. I'm not saying it isn't, and I get why they've done it, but to not have your expenses covered for a weekend where, again, you look at a game, again, we come back to it. Stefan Belmont against Charlie Manby. One of those ain't going to get any cash this weekend. And they could have played a qualifier. They could have played anybody else on a Challenge Tour or a Dev Tour, and they would have probably got some prize money. It isn't right. It isn't right. We've said it for a while, and we'll continue to bang this drum. The fact is, as well, they've increased the prize fund a little bit again this year, but they've only increased it by about, about 50 grand. When in comparison, the rest of the prize pots are getting a fair whack up as well.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. In terms of commercially, what we're talking for a company the size of the PDC, we're talking peanuts to give first round losers money.
Absolutely,
at a TV major. I fully appreciate that. In commercially, it's nothing, but it would mean a lot to so many players.
Well, you think, again, we come back to it, £500. Will that cover your weekend if you go out in round 1 on Friday morning? Yeah. You'd say so. You covered for a weekend. You've got your hotel, but your hotel's covered. food's go because you'll be gone by the Friday afternoon anyway. So at least you've covered your costs, at least. Ridiculous. And Joel's right here. TV tournaments, every other TV tournament, every other one, round one losers get prize money. Even at the Players' Championship finals, when there's 64 of them there, round one losers get prize money.
Right. By the way, what I'm going to say here, I don't agree with, but I can tell you what the argument will be straight away already.
Go on.
That every other TV tournament, you're not guaranteed a place. You have to earn a right there.
But
that will be the argument, I'm pretty sure.
That's fine if you want to go down that road. But years ago, before 2019 or 2018, I can't remember exactly when it was, all tour card holders weren't guaranteed to be at the fucking UK Open. And they still didn't give round one prize money away.
Hang on.
So that argument for me...
a guest on that qualified. We've just had a guest on the show that went through a qualification process.
Oh, yeah. But what they'll say, that'll be the argument, is that every tour card holder is guaranteed a place there. That is why there's no prize money.
But you can't just you can't professionalize a game where qualifiers are deemed to just be there to enjoy the experience.
And you can't, and also as well, that argument from that side of things is null and void because they didn't do that at round one when it used to be the fact that only 96 players qualified for the UK Open. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I don't agree with that.
No, I know. But if Matt Porter were to say that to you, I'd just say that's nonsense because it is, in my opinion.
Rob's got there. It's free money. The same as they don't do it for the Pro Tours because it's
and that's
free
shit
money
as well.
I agree.
Consistent.
I agree.
That.
But what I'm saying is that is their stance across the board is that no one just gets money for turning up.
Well, there's an argument there from Paul, right? Paul said here, I know a couple of players who, in case they don't get through to the money rounds, are up and over to the Isle of Man because it's 5k to the winner. I know you can't do that in the PDC, and if you're a PDC tour card holder, I get that. But if players don't qualify, if qualifiers don't get there, at least they get an opportunity to go and earn some cash elsewhere.
Yeah,
I say that will be the thing is we're not handing out free money. You have to earn it. What's that?
But they're not. They're not handing out free money.
Well,
they're not covering expenses.
To the tour card holders on the ranking, they would be. Right, forget the amateurs for a minute because they haven't got a rank. They don't get a PDC ranking.
Okay.
For the PDC tour card holders, it's a handout. It's free ranking money. I can guarantee that is the argument.
Yeah, but again, they didn't do that before. So again, it makes the argument pointless. Like I know you're not agreeing with it, PB. I'm not saying you are.
Yeah.
But that argument, if that argument is made by Matt or by anybody at the PDC, that argument, because of the fact of the history they used to do it, if they had given round one losers money when only 96 players qualified, then I go, okay, I don't like the argument. I can see why they're making the argument. With that, they haven't got, in my opinion, they haven't got a leg to stand up. Simple as with that particular argument.
No, I have got a date penciled in with Matt. I'm not going to give it away because in case it doesn't happen for whatever reason. But I spoke to Matt over the weekend, and there is a date penned in the diary to do this.
You don't anymore.
Sorry, Phil.
I will bring it up, but there is a date penned for me and Matt to sit down and go through some stuff.
You may as well ask the question of him, really, because and that's a point from James. Really, first round loser money doesn't have to be ranked. It doesn't have to be.
No,
that's a good point. You don't have to rank it.
No, look, it's interesting, and look, I'd say I don't agree with it, but it'll be interesting.
Hello, Matthew. See you at the weekend, pal.
you lot won't.
Yeah, we won't. Not anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say we have good form for bumping into him in the multi-board room, but he may be giving us a wide berth at this, or we may just be sent out. You might find that at some point there's a few lads just stood outside like naughty boys outside there. Outside when you're looking at the wall. We've been told to stand there and face the wall for a bit, think about what we've done and said.
What you've done.
Look, we can't predict However,
can.
fantasy, I'm going to make you all. Who plays who in the final on Sunday night of the UK Open?
Do you know something? I've got an answer as long as I don't bump into one another. I know it's not a Luke versus Luke final.
No.
Luke Humphreys has been playing far too well to not be in a major final again this year. Final of the World Masters, arguably should have won it. He's already won a Pro Tour. Hasn't been playing well in the Premier League. And we'll get onto that in a minute because I think I need to eat some humble pie, as we all do sometimes. but Luke Humphreys will be in the final where he will play possibly the most consistent player on the Pro Tour so far this year. Obviously, I've said Cristo Reyes. I'm not saying him. There's a really nice bet at 40-1 that I like the look of. Rostova Smith. I really, really, really like the way that Ross Smith has started this season. And yeah, obviously he's won a Pro Tour already this year. And I think that but he hasn't been playing well, has he? It doesn't matter about average. Averages are only a guide, Joel. Averages are only a guide. But as I say, I think Luke Humphreys beats Ross Smith in the final. But I'll be happily having him 40-1 each way right now to get to the final because I really like the way Ross Smith has been playing. And let's not forget, he knows how to win an ITV event.
I've got this is so I'll be really honest, right? I've got 3 people, and you can't have a 3-person final, even at the UK Open. Even as mad as it is, we can't have a 3-person final. So I need to. And what's interesting is I've got 3 people, and none of them are called Luke. So
again, I kind of understand that.
I think it's the I hope so. I'll tell you, when you look at seeded tournaments, and we look at so many seeded tournaments, you constantly find yourself drawn in that you think, well, if I'm going to actually pick what I think will probably happen, is the Lukes will end up meeting in the fight, because they're kept away from each other. You think, well, and it will end up there. So then, so the UK Open is almost an opportunity to pick something a little bit different. Gezi is firm. Like, that's a firm pick.
I don't disagree with that.
And the other 2, I'm looking at. So interestingly, on the year to date, right? So you can get rid of Littler and Humphreys from the top of that year to date because they've, they're just, they are who they are.
Miles away. Yeah.
Then Gezi sits next, and in 4th place, who's had a very good
off. Don't do it. You're only going to be disappointing yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to disappoint yourself.
Gezi beats James Wade in the final.
Oh, he bottled that. He bottled that because he knew. He knew.
Well, so they're with you. I mean, they're the 3 names that I had. And genuinely, what I was looking at was, is it the 6 very good weeks that I've seen from Chris Dobey, or was it the 12 very good months that I saw from James Wade last year? And I was almost, and that it was like 12 months versus 6 weeks. And do I go with the recency bias, or do I? And it's Gezi beats one of them 2. Gezi's my pick to win. He'll beat one of those 2.
The thing is with that, right? Just a quick one. The only reason why I wouldn't be picking Wade is because he made the final last year. So logic dictates that he goes out in round 4 to Luke Humphreys or Luke Littler.
Well, this is the way of the UK Open, isn't it?
So
logic goes out the window.
Does it?
Go on.
Oh no, I agree with what Dan said there. Look, would I be surprised if Luke and Luke get kept apart there with a final? No.
The ball's getting warmed, are they?
No. I can't ignore how well Gezi is playing. I was with him on Saturday night in Swansea as well, and he was just sensational. I've got 3 players like Dan, and none of them are called Luke. Gerwyn Price.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gary Anderson.
Shock. No chance.
Nathan Aspinall.
Are you drunk? I thought you didn't drink anymore.
Only pineapple juice.
This is very strange.
It's ever so
I-
strange.
There's just something I like about Nathan.
Interestingly, about Nathan, when I was looking at the odds today, I looked at Noppert at 40s and Wadey at 50s, and I thought there's some value. And I saw Aspinall at 22s and thought, tight bastards. Like that should be double.
I agree with
And
that.
I did it, and I thought, that's a bit tight, isn't it? I mean, good luck
I
to you.
like the Asp at the moment.
Do you know? I mean, I agree with you that I think that Gezi has got it with him to make the final 100%. But there's a reason why I'm not sure whether he gets past round 4, and I'll explain when we come on to it.
I think Nathan Aspinall beats Gary Anderson in the final.
Do you know what? Logic goes out the window when it comes to the UK Open. But even so, that is the worst shout I have ever heard from you in nearly 5.5 years on this show. I'm going to call it out now. That is one of the worst. To be fair, it's even worse than your shout that Matt Campbell will make a world quarter final, my friend. And that was a bad one.
Oh, I can get better if you want. I can go further if.
Oh God!
I could go further, I promise.
I can go more rogue if you want, lads.
But you know, like you say, I really think that the reason why I'm thinking that Luke Humphries might win this tournament is because it's one. The big thing as well is it's one he hasn't won yet. It's one he hasn't ticked off. Just like Littler hadn't ticked off the Winmore World Masters, Luke Humphries had not ticked off the UK Open, and I think this could be the year that he does it. But again, I will explain why I'm not so sure. Gezi it could be very difficult for Gezi in round 4. And I'll explain why when we get to the Premier League.
You think he wins Cardiff?
I didn't say that.
So you
Not
think
yet,
he
anyway.
Get Minehead till around 3 a.m.
Correct. Because that will be me. On a side note, by the way, how many people down here in the chat room are actually going down? Because this is a big thing as well. We'll put it out on our social channels as well. We did promise a rogue promise, but we did promise that we will do a meetup. I can't promise that that James Corden will be there with us because he might actually be doing some work. But there you go. But I can't promise that he'll be there. But Daniel, Cam, Gob, and I will
5
be there.
p.m. in 5 p.m. on Friday in Hot Shots. That is the online darts meetup. So if anyone is following, listening, watches occasionally, and just loosely fancies meeting up with us for now for a pint, we will be in Hot Shots from 5 o'clock on Friday. We might have a couple of games of pool. We might have a bit of crack. It's just a decent opportunity. There's lots and lots of people that get in the chat room and have a bit of crack with us regularly. And we think quite a few of them might be down there. So if anyone is there, then that's where you can find us. Hot Shots, 5 o'clock.
And we'll steal Barzi's credit card and he'll pay for the drinks. Then he can claim it back through. Sorry.
And as it's 5 o'clock on Friday, I promise I will show my face as well.
There he goes.
Wow, wait, how could you not turn up now? Philip Barzi's there doing.
Everyone's coming. Everyone's getting involved now. Yeah, 5 o'clock on Friday. We'll be in Hot Shots. We might, like I say, we might get a pool table. We might just have just sit down, a bit of crack with everyone. But it will be nice to see some people down there. We always bump into a few people from the chat room when we're in Minehead, which is a very good fun.
Before we move on, someone in the chat room asked about Dimitri van den Berg. Remember, he is defending the prize money from 2 years ago.
Not for long, though. Not for long. He's not.
Definitely not for long.
Because by the time we meet up at 5 o'clock on Friday, he'll fucking not be.
No, because he comes in for round 4. So
logic goes out.
However,
logic goes out the
one
window.
of the seeds that you want.
Well, it's also the fact that let's just not remind ourselves for the poor, because obviously 2 years ago, Daniel, Cam, and Gob were still down there the entire time. And I only was there for the afternoon session because Cloder was only 10 days old. So I could only nick down for the afternoon session. Those poor sods had to go and watch that final between him and Luke Humphries.
I think Phil was in the stands with us by then. I think he'd given up. I think by then Phil was just in the stands with his head in his hands, like with his back to the stage.
Do you know what? If if Dimmy does win this tournament again, we are all going to look such fools.
I can guarantee Dimmy is not winning the UK Open.
I'm not going to look a fool. I won't be there to look a fool because if he makes the quarterfinals, I'm already on the M6. I'm already on the M6.
So it is a good one for you. Adam asks, who's on the main stage Friday night, lads? Because unless they draw each other, what is there? 4 games on the main stage? 5 maybe?
Well, Luke Littler's going to be there because defending champion, but he's also world number 1 and he's the biggest draw. So Wonder Boy will be there.
Well, I agree. But defending champion doesn't give you passage of right to be on the main stage. Ask Andrew Gilding.
Gerwin Price will be there on the main stage because there is always geographically convenient a massive Welsh contingent at Minehead.
But this is a big thing though this year because obviously the Six Nations is on, and I know Wales have been crap, but they've played all right against Scotland, so there might be a few Welshies in the bar in hot shots watching the fight, watching the ruggers. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just not sure whether that'd factor in. Like I agree, but
I think it's quite simple, to be fair. Be Littler, Humphreys, MVG, Gezi.
Okay.
I don't think there's any debate on it, really. And I know it's wrong that the World Championship finalist is not on the main stage, but I just think that'll be unless they draw each other, those will be the draws.
And again, that's an opportunity to be in Reds watching the World Championship finalists, though, isn't it? Like, that's quite, like that.
Yeah.
And I think we love that
as well.
Do you know what I mean? Though we love that environment. It's so, it's so sort of intimate. I've been thinking about seeing if I can pay someone to hold a table at the front for it. Like get these lads that like to get in very early. slip someone a few quid to get so that we can go for breakfast or something. Just have them sat at the table for 10:30.
Well, do you know what the big thing is? Is that obviously a good point that people raise is that if she gets through to round 4, they're going to have to put Bo on, aren't they?
Yes.
So then who gets binned off?
You would think so. You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Like you would like to think.
I think if Bo's in, Chris says there, if Bo's in and draws top 16 player, she's main stage. I disagree. I think if she's still there, regardless of who she draws, she'll be on the main stage.
I'm not sure. Regardless,
because that's big. Because I just think she's starting to get a big enough draw now, mate.
I think depending on the draw, I don't think it would be a guarantee. Anyone inside the top 16, yes, I agree. But
I think she'll still get it because it's not just the fact that obviously the player's involved, but it's also the fact that even if she is playing a nobody, and I use that term extraordinarily loosely with no disrespect whatsoever, but if she's playing a nobody, right, then there's an opportunity there for an upset. ITV4 prime time. I'm just saying,
it'll be interesting, right? Who called the madness that we saw in Belfast?
No.
I think
not guilty.
I think I used the phrase when we were previewing Humphreys versus Bunting last week. Humphreys ain't losing this. I'm really good at predictions.
Yeah, well done. Another top performance.
The Eton curse is undefeated, as we know. Mental. What a night, by the way. Before we go any further and actually discuss the night and we talk about what happened, around the place. You were obviously there, PB, in the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Describe the noise when he hit the second 180, and then subsequently went.
Oh, it was off the chart. Look, for his walk on, it was split again because we know the blue-green divide in certain cities. So did he get a good reception? Yes. Were there some jeers and boos? Yes. But in the main, his walk on was sensational. And then they went a bit flat. because he wasn't producing. And let's be fair, that 9 darter came from absolutely nowhere. It was probably the biggest shock 9 darter that I've seen because he didn't look likely. And then I thought the roof was coming off.
The only one that I can say that it was very similar to that was, do you remember Dean Winstanley's 9 against Vincent van der Voort?
Van der Voort, yeah.
Yeah.
That one, you were just like, where the did that come from? And the same way with Rock, but like Teresa's made a really good point here that she doesn't think there'll be an ever better 9 darter. And for me, I agree, because it was just the fact that A, it came out of nowhere, B, it's in his hometown, C, it's in his Premier League debut, and it was so perfect as well. I just thought as soon as the 5th dart went in, I went, this is going. This is absolutely going. I think it's the best Premier League darter, 9 darter ever, absolutely ever. I know people can say the Phil Taylor hitting 2 9 darters in a game against Wadley, Gezi there a few years back, obviously in Belfast as well. But for me, I think that's the best 9 darter in the Premier League ever.
Until Gezi hits one in Cardiff this week.
Jesus Christ! I think. Well, I said the roof will come off the place, but it will do because that. I mean, that arena is absolutely fucking awful.
But yeah, no, it was loud. It was good. It was so good. He came in to do press afterwards, and you should have seen his hand was still physically shaking in the press afterwards.
Wow!
For the nerves and adrenaline, it was mad.
You could tell that the adrenaline was still pumping after a 9 because he then goes, I think, did he hit 25 the next leg? Yeah, full respect.
To be fair though, fair play to Van Veen as well, because you could see Gian behind going on that last.
And he was also like telling them shut the fuck up as well.
Like steering with the other one as well.
Very good.
It was great. Look, overall as a night, it was okay. Look, the 9 darter was obviously the standout moment. It was sensational, but it was a very mixed night as well. There was some good, some bad. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, look. It was just, thing is that for me at least, anyway. It was an okay night at darts, apart from Stephen Bunting, and I think that is most important. Chris, just do me a favour for once, mate, about this. It's not and nothing to do with Celtic Rangers. This is about celebrating an iconic moment. Stop being a knob is a simple fact of the matter. Right, moving back to Stephen Bunting. Okay, he was absolutely unreal. He was unbelievable. The whole night, like again, he looked like he was never going to get beat, and that's a strange thing. But what did we say last week when he made a quarterfinal on the Euro Tour? What did we say? We said the confidence would be there, and it's there.
I was there against Humphreys. I can't remember what they were. I think one was a 1-2-4, and it was he took out 2 ton plus finishes against Humphreys at big times because Humphreys was playing beautifully as well. But he found a way to win that with 2 great finishes. And then the platform that he had to go on was stunning.
I think it's very, I was going to say interesting, but the better word is probably important, is what happens next. Because it can't be a one-off, can it? Like it's been... It's so sort of unexpected. You know, we've said for weeks that we didn't think that was going to happen, and we didn't think that was going on, and then all of a sudden, it's there. But he's got to follow it up with something. I'm not saying he has to go and, do it every week, or that he's got to do something like, I don't know, not even a really deep run this week is probably not needed. But he's got to find some level of consistency. It can't be a big surprise anymore when he turns up and beats the other players.
Yeah, look, he's got a tough. We'll come on to me, but he's got a tough one this week. He's playing Price in his own backyard, so look, if he gets beaten there, that's not the end of the world. But going back to Belfast, it was massive for him.
Well, we said here again. I said it last week that if he were to lose to Humphreys, I'd call it there, and he's done. And like in the same breath, I am now worried a bit for Rocky because the 9 dart is great, but obviously the fact is he's only won 8 legs in the whole competition after 4 weeks, and we've seen what Premier Leagues can do to people and how difficult it can be for people, and obviously. Now he's over a nightly win away from the top 4 already.
Yeah,
that's the big issue. That's the
and
big
it's
issue.
so early, isn't it? We've seen people go on like rough wins and have a lot to do to get in the mix. But when you're doing that from the very beginning, from the very start, it's just it creates so much to do, and. If you wanted 7 dart players, where you, in that environment, try and catch back up to, these arguably aren't the 7. It's going to be really tough for him, really tough.
Well, but what we sat here last week and talked about the fact that you had really good money on the fact that Humphreys and Littler would be outside the top 4 after 3 weeks. You could basically be remortgaging your house and paying for a new one if you'd have had money on Luke Humphreys and Luke Littler being outside the top 4 after 4 weeks.
Correct.
Don't get me wrong. It's great. It's great for the neutral. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic for the competition. Pardon?
You're not worried, though, are you?
Of course not. Like as I said before, by the second half of the season, the 2 of them will share the titles, and we're back. And normal service will resume. Again, as we talked about it last week, the body of work is there. That's what's going to happen, right? But obviously, this is a big week for Rock. He has to somehow get some points on a board. I'm not saying he has to go and win the night. That's not what I'm saying at all. But he has to get some points on the board just to stay in touch, if that makes sense. You look at, obviously, it's a big week again for Bunting. Can he back it up going into the UK Open? And obviously, it's a huge week for Johnny Clayton and Gavin Bryce. Absolutely massive week.
Yeah, no, it is. And I know Dave's in the chat and said he's averaging 92. Look, your Premier League debut year is tough. It's never going to be easy.
Really hard.
Right? Look at Michael Smith's debut year in the Premier League. It was horrific. Michael Smith's gone on to be world champion. Right? This is part of the reason why they don't make wholesale changes to the Premier League lineup, because they have to be able to trust the players for 16 weeks. That's why they don't make 5-6 changes year on year. And look, did Josh Rock deserve his place? For me, absolutely.
Of course he did.
Right? He's world number 9. Right? You don't get to world number 9 if you are shit. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Can it?
You don't win a TV title if you are shit.
But also, as well, right, you look at, obviously, the likes of, Duzza and Clayton won it on debut. Duzza, technically, obviously, he'd been on a night in the Premier League. I'm not saying it's different. I'm not saying it's not different. Of course, it is going around for 16 weeks. But obviously, that one in particular, Duzza and Clayton, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because a lot of those nights.
How many years of the Premier League have we had? Chris, you're naming 4 players out of fuck knows how many that have won on debut. The odds ain't in your favour, lad.
But also, as well,
the odds of doing shit on debut are better than winning on debut.
No, I also think trying to stack up things that are likely and normal to happen and using Littler and MVG within that example is a stretch, isn't it?
Correct.
But also, Clayton and Duzza's ones, right? Duzza, yeah, he had the first 5 weeks of Premier League, but for the majority of it, he was stuck in a hotel playing in Milton Keynes every single night. You also, again, with Clayton, for the majority, it was night after night after night in the Premier League in blocks. It was only the final week, and the final week was all over 1 week. It just had a bit of fans in it. It didn't even have full fans. It didn't go around. It didn't go round. The only 3 people to win it on debut are Phil Taylor, Michael Van Gerwen, and Luke Littler. I don't know if you ever heard of them. I think they're jobbers, to be honest, most of them. So, in the same breath, like Gezzy's first year in the Premier League, god awful. Peter Wright's first year in the Premier League, god awful. Rob Cross, okay, he made a final on debut, but he was the world champion. So, was it that year? No, it wasn't. It was the year after, wasn't it? It was the year after he made the final with MVG. I think he missed out on the playoffs in his first year.
Who's that?
Cross.
Can't remember without looking.
Have a look.
I know, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
you
Dave,
go.
Dave, by the way, I'm not saying I agree that the 9 darter has masked that he's not playing well. I'm not disagreeing there. But all I'm saying is people giving Josh Rock shit saying he doesn't deserve to be there is absolute bollocks because he had an unbelievable year last year, played some cracking darts, and in my opinion, thoroughly deserves to be there. Will he bounce back from this? 100%. He might finish bottom. Do I think he will get another go? Yes, I do. It might not be straight away. Will he play in the Premier League again? 100%. Do I think he will win a team? Do I think he'll win more majors? Yes, because the boy is box office.
Yeah, but also as well, like again, he's mentioned D'Souza. D'Souza was runner up on debut again in a tournament with no fans for the majority of it. He got no fans for about 11 weeks. You've got to take that into consideration. Cross, by the way, did make the top 4 on debut. He finished 4th, but he didn't win it. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Even look, the COVID tournaments, you can take them one way or another. Some people don't care, but when you listen to Gezi, he's like, I've got to win another world title because the one that I won was behind closed doors. Even Gezi, who has won one, there's an asterisk next to it. In his mind.
Shouldn't have avoided everything, as we know. Shouldn't have avoided every sporting achievement, as we know.
Yeah. And look,
you haven't got me on a string, mate. You're just talking absolute bollocks. You're not got me on a string. You're talking absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I agree with Jarkris. I don't agree with anything you're saying tonight.
Right. Anyway, rest of the night was interesting. Talking about it, obviously.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Dejan van Veen, by the way, is the most consistent player in the Premier League. Who would have thought that after 4 weeks? 3 finals already for him. But the big problem is that he needs to go and win one, doesn't he?
I don't know, mate. I think the level he's producing is so high. He's so consistently, because it's not just. I think if he wasn't winning some of the types of games that he was, then I might be a bit worried. But like to average over 105 and beat Gezi in a deciding leg to make the final, there's the things that I think, well, that's not missing from his game. Like it's there, so it doesn't worry me at all. That I think he is really, really solid, like properly solid, and dangerous. I think he is, and I know it sounds a bit silly. He's sort of at the minute my only sort of banker that I think like definitely there in the top 4 at the end. If you said to me like because I think the Lukes have started a bit shaky, but then if they pick up and start playing well, but then Gezi and MVG pick up as well, and I just think he's done that early points grab consistency very well, very early, and he's my banker to be there at the end of the last 4.
The only worry is that I think he's got to win one of the nights, just so that when he does get to the O2, because I do agree that he will be at the O2 Arena in London at the back end of May. The only worry is that if he hasn't won a night and he's gone through multiple finals losses, does that play on his mind? Because he's been to obviously the World Final, lost again in Bahrain, now lost in semi-final of the World Masters, lost in 3 finals already. I know he's won one, and that's a big deal. But obviously, if you keep not getting over the line, something's got, don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I tell you as well, another banker. Sorry, I was just going to say, sorry, Buzzy. Another banker right now, and that's Johnny Clayton. Because the man just picks up points. Doesn't matter that he goes and wins everything. And, doesn't matter that he wins.
Right. We can't have 6 bankers, lads. They all can't make the final.
No, but I don't. I've got 2 right now, Clayton and Van Veen.
I'm not sure they both make it.
Okay. Oh, okay, fair enough.
I think it could be, for the first time in a long time, it's actually heating up that we might get a race to the O2. It might not all be done and dusted by week 12. We might actually get a proper race where
all four could be in problem. And that's why I keep coming back to, if Rocky wants to be in that race, he's got to pick up points quickly, because 7 points, it isn't insurmountable. It's big, don't get me wrong, it's big, but it's not insurmountable. If it starts getting to 10 points off the playoffs and 12 points off the playoffs, then we have an issue. That's my big thing.
For me, I don't think Rock makes the playoffs. I think he's too far adrift. But
in this Premier League right now, if Humphreys and Littler continue to struggle in the Premier League, which is the strangest things I've ever said in my life, but you know what I mean. If Littler and Humphreys continue to struggle in the Prem, it's not necessarily a done deal that he's not going to make it. Do you know?
No.
Oh no, it's going to be interesting, and that's why I say we could actually get a race, which will be absolutely insane. Before we go and have a look at Cardiff, let's talk about the crowd getting on Littler's back. And I said this a little while ago, and I say it again. It is the one chink in the armour that at the moment, and by the way, I'm not saying he should have to deal with it, but it's not going to go anywhere. So you have to learn to deal with this. It's the one chink in the armour that it bugs him and it annoys him, and you can see it annoys him as well. Like he's not a good poker player. You can see exactly how he's feeling. He wants to turn around, give them the V's, tell them to go fuck themselves, and so on. But
just what Dan did last week.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's not going to change. Right? They're not going to make the crowd stop whistling. So you've got to deal with it. And at the moment, that's the one chink that he needs to learn.
Yeah, I think it'll come. I do think it'll come.
Yeah, that's what I say. Look, we forget he's still only in his apprenticeship almost. So it will. And I'll tell you what, I haven't seen this either. Jackie boy, how we doing, mate? Hope you are good. Good to see you in the chat room, as always. How's the paddle going, my friend? Hope you are good.
The big thing is this, right? For me, it's not just the fact that the crowd are getting on top of him. I've said this for a while. What's the only way you're going to get at Luke Littler? What's the only way you've got a chance at him? Short format.
Yeah.
Starts. If you start slow in a race to 6, you're absolutely Donald Ducked, really, aren't you?
And that's why.
Unless you through.
And I don't want to go bang on about it. That's why I'm allowing myself the novelty of not picking him to win the UK Open, because you've got that short. That someone comes at him, catches him cold. They've played a few games. He hasn't. Starts slow. All of a sudden, before you know it, and bear in mind, he could be playing anyone as well when he comes in. So
it's also best in 19, though, isn't it? And what is it in a record of? Is it 19 or more legs that he's 19-1 or something stupid like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Lose.
But that's his biggest issue right now, is the fact that the only realistic way you're getting at Luke Littler is in a short format, and this is obviously a very short format in terms of the Premier League. So if you get a couple of legs on the bounce on him, you're in your quid's in here. To be fair,
right, we are going to the Cardiff International Arena. What a
it's
shit.
It's the motor point.
We are not. He is.
Yeah.
We are.
You two fucking hard.
We are going to Minehead, Philip. This lad here, he's going to Cardiff.
You two dickheads, along with about 6 others, are off to the Pissing Curry Club, and I'm going to bloody Cardiff.
And do you know what? Do you know what would make it worse? Like, in fact, I can't show everybody this, but I will. I'll WhatsApp you, because quite funnily, at this, everyone knows I work on like multiple screens, and I've always got 3 or 4 things going on at once. And currently, one of the many windows that I have open right now is the menu for the curry house that we're going to on Thursday. As I've been, as I was toying with myself and thinking, Yeah, King Prawn Puri would be a good way to start, wouldn't it? That would be a good start to the evening. That's yeah. I mean, we got plans Thursday.
You two dickheads are going to have a lovely time, and I have to sit in bloody Cardiff. Do you know what? Do you know what? Right, I haven't got an issue with Cardiff as a city. Cardiff's class, absolutely banging city.
Decent set of fixtures, though. Decent set of fixtures.
But no, I'll save my jokes until we get to that point. But like I say, Cardiff's a great city.
At the weekend, mate. Save some more. Right, but also down.
As well.
I'll need them by then.
Yeah, Cardiff though, that arena, and you've been there a couple of times, so have I. I've said a couple of times, you've been there a lot. That arena's diabolical. It's shocking. Absolutely abysmal. It's abysmal. And you've got 2 weeks off from the Prem as well, you lucky sod. Yeah. It's absolutely diabolical. The setup of that arena is bobbins. You know, and you think we're missing out on fucking Exeter for this? Honestly? Ridiculous. Sorry. There's my rant. I miss Exeter already.
So, the quarterfinals are as follows. MVG plays Luke Humphreys. Gian Van Veen plays Johnny Clayton. Gerwin Price, Stephen Bunting, and Luke Littler takes on Josh Rock. So, prediction time, because we have got some other bits to talk about and discuss as well. Van Gogh and Humphreys, what are we saying?
The loser won't be disappointed. They might make the Curry Club. Cars will be running for the pair of them. 100%.
Guess whoever wins.
Who?
6-4. Hang on. Oh, sorry.
Wrong one, mate.
Gerwin. No, I'm not. I just Gerwin. Too many Gerwins and Gerwins and Gerwin. MVG.
Humphreys wins 6-3.
MVG to beat Humphreys.
6-4.
Humphreys 6-3.
MVG 6-4.
Humphreys 6-5. Van Veen against Clayton.
This is tight. Top 2 in the league.
Tough this, but for me, it's Van Veen close again, 6-5.
Yeah. Again, I can see that because he's just come through rock. But Clayton always picks up points. 6-4. Clayton.
Welsh fans to be disappointed. Van Veen 6-5. Gerwin Price against Stephen Bunting.
Price 6-2.
What he said. Sorry, I can't even vary it up because it's the right answer.
Yeah, I think Price wins as well. Littler against Rock.
It's just not the right. It's not the right draw, is it, for Josh Rock? It's not what he needed at all. 6-4 Littler, I'm afraid to say. I think
6-3. I'm going to go with Littler, but I feel sorry for both of them because obviously the loser's got to still get to Minehead. They won't get there till 11:30.
6-2 Littler. Now, I want your winner and who they beat in the final on night 5 in Cardiff.
We have an all-Welsh final. Johnny Clayton beats Luke Humphreys. Gerwin Price beats Luke Littler. And Gerwin Price wins. And he wins 6-3. Because that's why he won't win the UK Open, because he won't be getting to Minehead till about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Gerwin Price loses in the final to he's going to show his bottle. Gian Van Veen.
Don't dislike it.
I agree. Gerwin Price loses in the final, but he loses to cool hand Luke Humphreys.
Again, hard to criticise.
Yeah, absolutely. But nobody cares about this Premier League. But the best one in the world. No one gives a crap. because half the players will be happy enough to just get out of the venue. Not just as well because you have to get out of the venue at Cardiff, because you're going to go down to Minehead. It's a 2-hour drive. It's not like it used to be with Exeter. Bring back the Cowshed.
A week in darts has been interesting. Off the back of some of our talking points last week, there has been some developments. One, the proposed new arena in Blackpool, which was quite surprising. Now,
do we dominate the conversation? Do we set the agenda? Is that what we do on this show?
now I was looking at where that is going to be built. If that gets planning permission, I think the Winter Gardens is gone.
Well, we'd have an expert. We have an expert on planning permission. So, Daniel?
Very, very, very hard, I think, to see a scenario where it doesn't happen. Especially because there's lots and lots of, politically, there's an awful lot of pressure, like locally, and even just sort of regionally within the Northwest, to try and bring some sort of economy back to towns like Blackpool that have been on a sort of endlessly downward trajectory for a long time. It's a really, like, what's the argument against it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there really isn't one. Economically, politically, like, what's it going to, the impact, I think, is virtually like nil. There's only positives. So I just can't see a negative. Now, I don't know whether there can be perhaps something that can be structured in terms of how a week-long tournament would go, because perhaps there's some scope to run, the early part of the tournament up to say maybe, the Thursday in the Winter Gardens, and then do a big Friday, Saturday, Sunday extravaganza where everyone that wants a ticket can get one. I don't know. I don't know whether that's feasible, possible, but
you're going to have it. They can't do that as well because Sky won't want that, will they? Let's be honest about it.
Well, there's a lot of work, I suppose.
But I think if that happens, it's not just as well the fact that you've got the development of it. It's also the fact that it brings, like you say, it brings back so much to the town, because as we know, Blackpool's not exactly going strong at the moment, is it?
Well, it was described. Sorry to jump in, but just on that point, it was described in the announcements and some of the press releases and things as the anchor to the regeneration of Blackpool Centre. And I think they're literally planning on developing like 17 acres of space around it. So it's not like, like where they've got the co-op or something, where they're just going and building an arena somewhere. And that's what it is. It's not an out of town arena. It's going to be, they reckon, about 20,000 people. So that is as well, don't forget, for all of the bars, pubs, restaurants, etc. around it, that's year-long passing trade. That's year-round. So you take some of that seasonal element away, where people that go for a meal before they go to a concert or something like that. The context and the concept is very, very good and very difficult to find a problem with, because also some of 100%, yeah, I noticed that. The other thing as well is they're already clearing. It's like it's the shithole. It's the old courthouse and police station, all that crap section of town. They're already like having to take it apart brick by, because it's literally crumbling. So it sort of solves all the problems, because you get rid of this horrible, crappy area of the town and replace it with something good. But I can't see it not happening.
But it's also as well, just really quickly, because I know we've got loads of other stuff to do. It's also as well the fact that that you used to look at Blackpool. Blackpool used to hold all the party conferences, didn't they? Towards the back end of the season when nobody was going there because it was cheaper accommodation and all the rest of it. But it's outgrown the Winter Gardens now. all these massive conference centres that are held, all the rest of it that's held elsewhere, Manchester, Birmingham, Brighton, all the rest of it. You bring a 20-seater arena back into Blackpool, there's a way to get some more extra cash.
Have you seen the concept designs for the arena?
It looks class. I love it.
Yeah.
It looks really good from the outside.
Like properly special, isn't it? Like very cool. The architecture.
Yeah.
Also, pictures arose on Wednesday last week of the man that is mentioned on this show probably more than any others. One,
What's Ed Hankey?
He's allowed back out in public again. And two, he won a darts competition. Corey Cadby winning the doubles in Tasmania with his brother. It's the hope that kills you.
I was going to say I'm still, and I'm reluctant to say it, because we know the potential and the talent and everything else, but it's become a bit of a novelty, and I'm not convinced yet that it sort of deserves the time of day, because until there is a commitment, to not act a dickhead and to focus on darts, then I'm reluctant to, why should I focus my darting attention on him if he can't focus himself on not trying to lead a non-criminal lifestyle? I was very kind there. That was very good.
Yeah, you did really well. You did really well there. No,
a slight pause.
You just look at those 8 weeks when he did what he did and then made the UK Open final against Gary. And you just think there's something there. Why are you?
Look,
Teresa's comment's very funny, but I don't know if we can say that legally. To be honest, that's really funny. But I can't say anything more than that. I'd love.
Everyone's a bad boy. I mean, but this is the problem. It's not a problem. But how bad? Where's the line? O.J. Simpson was a hell of an American football player, but he turned out to be a fucking maniac. Where's?
Hang on, no, he was cleared. He was cleared.
Stop it.
He was. I'm just saying. I don't want you to get in any trouble. That's all. I don't want you getting to this channel getting shut down.
I'm prepared. I'm prepared to not put allegedly after that accusation at this stage.
Okay.
Where's the line where we think that it's that when does a lovable rogue become an unacceptable criminal member of society? Where's the what level of transgression do we then choose to accept as lovable rogue? Was it Peep Show where they're like, oh yeah, we all like a bad boy, don't we? Yeah, but not a fucking murderer, Mark. It was like, yeah, we all like a bad boy, don't we? Yeah, but not a he's prison. Ideally one that isn't burgling your nan. And this is and that's the thing with that is I think I'm not sure at the minute. I'd if he goes and sticks to darts and stays away from other activities, then great. We can talk loads about Corey Cadby and what he could do in the game. But at the minute, I just think, there's loads of actual dart players that would be better off talking to.
Yeah, but I agree to a point. But there's also this mystique around Corey because of the talent. Right, you look at football now.
It up, though.
But right, look
I don't know how much of that is driven purely by this stream,
It's driven by bars.
But look at football. Look how much Ravel Morrison and Dele Alli air coverage they get. They don't play anymore. But because of that mystique around the talent, they get spoken about.
Not in our house.
Tell me Dele Alli was a good football player.
Not in our. They don't get spoken about in our house.
Yeah,
they're forgotten.
Go on, nibble. Do it.
But you've only got to look in the Facebook groups. When that picture went into all the Facebook groups, Facebook went into meltdown.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Absolute meltdown.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's a body of work. I keep coming back to this phrase. There's a body of work. And he's just, unfortunately, we're at a point now where we go, oh, yeah, he's won a tournament, great. But
Okay.
Well, who was in that tournament as well?
I don't know is the honest answer.
Because
Mark, stop it.
no, but this is when we're having to stop when we're having conversations where like imagine I'm sat here and I'm sat here thinking, yeah, do you know what? Nile Ranger wasn't a bad player, you know, like he was all right. And then you end up thinking like, why are we like what an odd like? Can we just like let's focus on players that play darts?
He's not coming back. It's like Barca trying to pretend that Maurizio Pochettino is going to come back at Spurs. It's not going to happen.
He is coming
I reckon
back.
some years ago, Barzi made a .com investment and he still owns CoreyCadby.com. and he's been renewing it every year. He's been
in the hope.
He's like, oh, good, Daddy, again.
All
renewing
I'm
it
saying
again.
is, money talks. With his list of shit. Should he ever get a visa? No. However, there are a lot of American footballers, American rappers that shouldn't get visas either, but are allowed in the UK to play one-off games and concerts.
Let's be honest. Should Ronaldo be eligible to have a visa in America for the World Cup? That's
Correct.
all I'm going to say.
He's still going to get one.
Yep.
So, at the end of the day, money talks. If the demand is big enough and they can raise the capital.
But they didn't though, because he got his card, didn't he, at Q School a couple of years back, and they couldn't get him to come over because they couldn't get a visa.
No, that's it. That is incorrect. He was due to come back over, but was detained.
Oh,
and wasn't,
right,
and wasn't allowed to come over.
Right. Okay. No worries. That's fine. Thank you.
In the end of the day, look, money talks. But to this day, the stir it causes is unreal. Right, what else? Have we missed anything else in a week of darts?
I'm too excited. Even if we have, I'm too excited. I don't give a shit. Roll on Thursday afternoon, getting off work, and then getting down to Cardiff. It is what it is. Finding a bar, watching the cricket, and then going to the gig, going to the event, and then Thursday night that pilgrimage back to Minehead to see the boys, and Friday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, Morrison's breakfast, and then straight to stage 2.
Yeah, so we missed that one. Again,
yes.
everyone, friend, because he is a friend of the show. Wishing Webby a speedy recovery, taking a break from broadcasting. Hopefully, won't be too long. But again, just wishing Webby lad all the best.
Yes,
I did speak to him. I did speak to him today on WhatsApp. He was in his normal high spirits.
Good. That's a good way to end the show.
Which was cool. Yeah, look, everyone, we will have you covered every step of the way at the UK Open. There is going to be absolute loads going on. Look, will we speak to every winner? No, because it is physically impossible to do so. We will bring you as much as we physically can from Minehead, but we will keep you up to date across social media with everything. Results. The boys are going to do a bit of impromptu social media posting, I'm told, as well, which will be interesting.
Are we? I haven't been told that.
I think I might get my apologies in early, right? Because as everybody knows, I don't use things like Instagram and TikTok and other stuff. But this weekend, I will have access to the Online Darts Instagram and TikTok and things like that. So it could be. I mean, I tell you what, if we might even do a bit of a live. I might go live on TikTok or something while we're having our meetup at 5 p.m. on Friday in Hot Shots. Who knows? We've got the gimbals with us. We've got some technology.
The thing you could possibly do.
Yeah,
do not do that.
It's the long road to the end of this channel, isn't it?
On a side note, though, another shout out. Remember, if you are going, we can't wait to see you down there. Friday, 5 o'clock, Hot Shots. Watch the draw with us for the 4th round. Have a beer, or a soft drink, whatever you wish to choose.
And also, there we go. So give the people what they want. That's what I say. If you're down there as well, and you are busy at if you're busy at 5 p.m. on Friday and you can't make it to Hot Shots, then if you see us floating around, give us a shout. People generally do. Like people, it's always absolutely amazing. Like it's so lovely when people stop and have a quick chat with us. But like we will all be, the whole team will be there, and feel free at any time to just come and interrupt whatever we're doing and have a chat with us.
Feel free to shout Barmy Army at Jar as well.
As long as you're not interrupting me while I'm having a vape, I don't really mind. Anything
apart
else,
from Phil, don't interrupt Phil. He's busy. Like he's got
Phil won't be in the. Phil's only going into the peasant area just for the Friday afternoon. After that, he won't be in there. He'll be in the swanky mansion out the back.
Every now and again, it's the only route he has to get. He has to get to the Cornish pasty shop at some point, and he.
Oh, lamb and mint.
Oh, hang on! Before we go, look who's joined. Look who's joined here. Where's Hot Shots? Here we go. Yeah,
you know where Hot Shots is. 5 o'clock on Friday.
You know where Hot Shots is, big lad. Come and see us. Love to see you, Buckers.
Yeah, Hot Shots. Join us 5 o'clock. Always a pleasure to have the littler family in.
Yes.
But this will be available as an audio only. I say in the morning, but it'll probably be there in the next hour because I just get it done and edited out the way. We have got interviews dropping this week with Joe Cullen and Raymond van Barneveld. They will be out Tuesday and Wednesday before the Premier League. Jar is then off to Cardiff. We are off to Minehead. We have been Online Darts. You lot have been absolutely sensational. We'll see you all in Minehead. Make sure you're there.